I'm Kamal Rahman for Hamtramck Public Television Channel 19. Today's show we have guest Eram Alharbi. He's the mayor-elect, and we'll be talking to him to know about his plans and what his plans are about Hamtramck, and we'll be dealing with him and the community for next 4 years. So I invited him today, so hopefully we'll be having some conversation, and you get to know the plans and our Hamtramck's future. So welcome to the program.
Thank you, Kamal, for the invite and for the interview
And
opportunity to
congratulations.
speak.
Yes.
Oh, thank you. It's been an interesting election. So.
Yeah. So have you been resting lately, or?
Yeah. Finally, I get to
finally
rest.
some rest.
Get to rest. Yes.
Yes.
But, yeah.
So it's been a crazy election year for Hamtramck, and I know it happened once before. I think at one time one vote was the deciding factor.
I think it was
for
3
Gary
votes.
Zich.
I think Greg was talking about 3
yes.
votes with
or 3 votes.
Yeah.
It was very little margin, but this one was very closely watched by everyone because of everything going on in the city and in the country, for that matter.
Yeah.
And this was another Al Gore and George Bush moment that people had to wait till the last minute and wait another week for the results. But thankfully it's all over with, and then the results are in. So I'm sure it's only little over a month away for you to be the mayor and in your inauguration. What is your transition plan? What are you doing to assume the responsibility?
Well, my involvement with current council and attending the city council meetings, I'm kind of familiar now on what things, how things are done. So the transition wouldn't be that difficult, but I do plan to attend some of the commission meetings just to get familiar and just I think it's not going to be too difficult to transition.
Sure. So things have changed since you announced your candidacy 4 or 5 months ago. So do you see the priorities that you had at that time remain the same, or it has changed since then? Do you have any?
I think it somewhat has changed because I in the last 6 months I've gotten a chance to meet a lot of people, and a lot of people told me their concerns, how they want to see the city's future and things like that. And I now have somewhat, so it did somewhat change. I heard the people concerns with regards to high water bills, and then I digged into that. I met with John and DPS, and I tried to understand the situation with that, and there's a lot that can be done with regards to addressing the people's concerns. And I think there's a lot of issues the city's having that I started looking into, and I plan to dig deeper and try to understand how it works and how to resolve them. But I am very, very familiar with a lot of things that concerns the residents, and I look forward to making a positive change.
Sure. About the high water bill, I know it comes in every election. It becomes an issue, and yes, Hamtramck has relatively much higher water rate than other communities, because the GLWA, when they assess the rates, it depending on the community and then elevation and a lot of factors. Do you think it may not have come to your planning yet, but do you think at some point you can probably reach out to GLWA, that the water that Hamtramck buys from, and then see if you can cut a new rate or a revised rate structure?
I think it's not just the cost of the water that we get from Great Lakes. It's also how we're utilizing the water. There's about 30% of the water goes to waste. So not all the water we buy from Great Lakes is actually sold to the residents.
Right.
So 30% goes to nowhere. Not even DPS knows where it goes. But last I was told that we have old water pipes that are breaking, and with that there's water wasted. There's also could be some meters that are not functioning right, or some not existing meters where people are consuming water without a bill. So we'll have to look into that. And there's also all of the things that are added to the water bill, including getting a third-party company to come fix the deteriorated water pipes that break every now and then. And then also there's other things like in the building department. There's some expenses from our city that are added to the water bill. Those are things that we need to look at, and I think that's the majority of the bill. So we need to see how we can make it less, and maybe maybe a construction project to address the water lines that are breaking every day is a solution to lowering the water bills. But it's something I will definitely look into deeper as we
So that's definitely a good thing to look into, the system loss. That's what it's called, the loss of the water.
Yes.
But infrastructure improvement, like you were saying, the construction and find out the leaks or where the wastage is happening. That's definitely a great way of thinking.
And like I'm learning every day. And like I met with John, and he was telling me that right under the shopping center, where Haramain, the new one, and where the Secretary of State,
right.
That shopping center has a old water line that runs right under it. And so I asked him, so since it's old, so what if it breaks? What happens? He said, we'll be on the news, because so there's things, the concerns that we have to look at and address, maybe rerouting that water line. So that way, if it does break, we're not, itching our head and trying to see how we resolve it. So there's a lot of situations with regards to our water lines, replacement.
Sure.
and fixing.
So that will, I'm sure, that will make a lot of people happy that you're focusing something, that they've been complaining about for many, many years.
Yes.
And it's not the city is not working, but it's the progress probably. This focus will change, maybe speed up things a little bit.
Yes.
Now another area that people complain a lot is the lawsuits against the city, and then since the beginning of the year, there were few more got added. And a lot of people feel that their tax dollars are going to waste. Have you looked into it? Have you had a chance to look into it and then see how city can cut down on lawsuits and?
Well, I think we can cut down on lawsuit by doing the job right in the city hall. If we do our job right in the city hall, probably would limit a lot of those lawsuits. But we also need to fight the lawsuits. I think if we fight the lawsuits, people would be less, hesitant to file lawsuit against us. Also, we also just need, like I said, to do a better job at making sure that we run the city properly, that we hire good people, and that we, I guess, let them go when it's when it's necessary. But but that's something we'll definitely look into.
So maybe you look into the HR codes and how they're implementing the policies, because some of these lawsuits are, for example, people were let go for a reason, and in other cities maybe there would be no lawsuit because they would follow these steps. The lawsuit happens when you are not following these steps.
Yes.
So the HR is probably one area that you need to, and possibly training.
Yeah.
The employee training and everything will be helpful to address how to handle a situation, how to handle employees and all that. I'm not sure what type of program is in place.
I think the city hall, we're busy creating drama versus busy correcting things. We need to focus more on fixing our city, on improving our workforce, and improving, like you said, with training, with improving with awareness to the public. There's a lot of opportunity for Hamtramck where we can progress and improve our city and focus on that versus focusing on little things inside the city hall that just amplify our issues and just be on the news for things that
for wrong reasons.
The wrong reasons. So we need to focus more on how to work together and how to improve our city, how to move our city forward, and how to make it Hamtramck more affordable, and how to make it attractive for visitors and residents alike.
Right. So Hamtramck has a charter, and it spells out what the role is for the mayor, the council, and the city manager, and so on. But lately, it appears that the council is directly involved in some of the decision making, which is directly violating the city charter. Like talking to the city manager to fire so and so employees and all that, and that's my understanding that's in direct contrast, and that may trigger a lawsuit because of
Interference.
and it's possible. So, do you think the new council? I know you are new to this, so you are thinking fresh. In other words, so do you think the new council that's coming and will actually think differently and focus on issues like training and all other things that will give free hand to the city manager so that they can do the job, and council does what?
So that's something I've been saying. Like, so it's like, as mayor, like, it would be good to have a good, strong city manager and good council, because my legacy would depend on that. So if we have a good city council, good city manager, and just a good team, then my vision can be implemented. Hamtramck can be improved. But if we don't, then we'll just have city drama, open things to lawsuits, and no, I think we should focus on our goals and not interfere with other people's tasks and what they do in their job, and just focus on hiring qualified people. If you hire qualified people, whether it's the head of HR or city manager or any other department, if we get good people, then we should rely on their judgment. Unless they're doing something wrong, then that's when we interfere.
Hire the right people.
Yeah.
So that they.
So unless they do something wrong, then that's when we interfere, or just let this even not interfere directly, but maybe with the city manager and tell them, hey, we see that this is something that's been done wrong or people are complaining about, but we shouldn't have direct interference with what they do.
How can the city council and mayor, what is an ideal relationship between them, and how do you see them working together to run the city well? You partially answered this already, but how do you envision a well-run city, which working with the mayor and then the council members?
Yeah, I think we just have to come to a common understanding. I think if we should just sit together and just lay out our plan, look at the master plan. Maybe it needs to be updated, maybe not, but we have a master plan, and then we have the issues that the residents are having, and just focus on that and say, hey, this is what we need to be concerned about, and not focus on the little things. And I think something I will have to work hard on working with the city council and make sure that they focus on that versus the little things that they commonly talk about, and work with the city manager and make sure that we just try to get the funding, grants, and utilize the city revenue properly, and limit the expenses, and just make sure that we're improving our city. Because end of the day, we're elected to do that. We're not elected to fight each other. We're elected to work with each other and to make sure that we move our city to a better stage.
So recently, something came into the social media, and it became a controversial comment about someone, one of the senior council member. So who has more power, or what's most important, 4 votes, or the people's what's good for people?
Yeah. So I don't pay attention too much to those, what people post on social media. End of the day, I'm just gonna get in and work on the things that needs to be done. So that's gonna be my focus. And it's end of the day, it is 4 votes majority for city council. But I think the mayor has a role to where
Sure.
he's gonna try to influence city council, work with them to make sure that what we vote on, what the things that we put on the table it will improve the city and the residents.
Sure. So The Hamtramck has lots of different ethnicity, Bangladeshi and Yemeni being the primary, more majority.
Yeah.
But there are other like Polish, Ukrainian, non-Muslims, and
Albanian,
African American
Bosnians,
community,
yeah.
Bosnians, and all that. So how do you envision working with them? Because sometimes what happens is traditionally we have noticed that yes, majority will make the decisions. Most cases because they have the vote and. But also, how do you address the other concerns and how do you make them feel that they are not left out? And how do you plan to work with them so that they feel inclusive?
We just have to understand that we are neighbors, regardless of our skin color, our faith, or whatever. We're end of the day are neighbors, and every resident has the same right as any other resident, regardless of color, majority, minority, doesn't matter. And end of the day, we all have about the same concerns. The water bill is not just on the majority or the minority. The streets that we drive on is the same street everybody drives on. The potholes, the alleys, and for the most part, we have the same concerns. But we have to respect each other, regardless. What they believe, each person believes in, or where they came from. That doesn't matter. We should all have respect for each other, and just that.
So, on social media, a lot of people. There are lots of active social media in Hamtramck, which is good because that's where people express their opinions.
Sometimes it's good. Sometimes.
And so there are different sides to it, and then so when you belong to different groups, you see different opinion coming up and all that. Now, I received a lot of concerns from the community, Muslims and non-Muslims, regarding Friday sermon being outside on a loudspeaker, and they.
You mean the whole lecture?
Whole khutbah. On some masjid, I don't know exactly which one, but apparently it's on Joseph Kampu. And I know I pray at Masjid Ali, it's not there. So
yeah.
Now, if you identify the masjid, and or even the sound ordinance, how can you address this?
Well, my understanding is just the adhan, not the whole lecture. That's what's permitted in Hamtramck, and there's a noise ordinance. Or limit, So
the decibel, set decibels.
Set decibels. So it's a limit to how much the sound needs to be, and residents have the right to complain, about noise. And if just like with someone driving a vehicle on the street or a neighbor with loud music, same thing. If it's outside the permissible limit, then that needs to be addressed. We need to look into that, because we have to respect other people from other faiths, and we have to. Muslims here are the majority, but it doesn't mean that we shouldn't follow what's the requirements, and so we have to respect other people's opinion, and because Hamtramck is for everyone. End of the day, but it's something that we would look into. But at the same time, there should be common respect. Like if it's not outside the requirement, the noise requirement, or if it's, then that should also be respected. So it's something that definitely look into. But I didn't know, to answer your question, I didn't know there's a whole lecture that's on speaker.
I did not know, and complaints. I didn't hear it. That's why I don't know exactly. Okay. But there are some of my Facebook friends, non-Muslim friends. They reached out to me and see, if I can bring this issue up to the politicians' attention, which is good, because sometimes what happens is when they complain or something, and there is always a really strong rebuttal. So, when talking about rebuttals and good relationship with the neighbors. Do you see that we can improve communication with the non-Muslims and Muslims, even Bengalis and Yemenis and all others? I know we come together during Labor Day festival. Everybody comes together. So that's something, that's an area that I think, and I am sure you'll agree that we probably can improve on communication and interactions.
So as an elected official, we should never look at race or religion resident is a resident of Hamtramck. We're all Hamtramckans, But with regards to communities, bring them together in unity, it's something that we should focus on and try to work together to see how we can unite. And I've spoken about this prior, previously. And this, some people have that language barrier, and some people just like to be alone, and so. But we have to, I guess, invite everyone in different languages into like a common event, for example, police awareness, any other event, and where people could just come in and then socialize and make sure that understand one another. And maybe, for the most part, I think we all have the same concerns, like I said, with the issues that our city is facing. But yeah, this is one of my goals, is for unity and to bring people together regardless of color or faith or anything else.
And I know you were campaign manager for Mayor Amr Ghalib. And so he has obviously lots of links to federal level, state level. Do you think you can utilize this connection to, bring funding to the city, for example, infrastructure improvement like water, and even the sewer lines and stormwater flooding issue and all that? Do you think you can,
Yeah, I mean, that's why I ran for mayor, and it's something that's going to be, I'm going to focus on is trying to get funds into Hamtramck in all means necessary. So whether it's through the mayor, current mayor, or whether it's through the state, or having a full-time grant writer, it's something that we will have to make sure that we try to get as much money into Hamtramck as possible. Because I was just talking to Greg at the library. Maybe we need to get a grant for the library. Sure. There's so much we can improve in our city, not just the roads or the infrastructure. It's also, we want to have maybe better parks. Maybe like some people tell me the idea of having a community center where it's like has an indoor gym and then a pool. Why not, if we can get the grant for it, And it's something, whatever I can do for the city of Hamtramck and the residents, I will do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that was my last question. Would you like to add anything?
No, it's just thank you for the opportunity. Thank you to Hamtramck residents for voting for me. I appreciate it. And like I mentioned before, for me, a victory is not when I get elected.
Yeah.
A victory is when I fulfill the things that I promised to do and improve, and that includes improving our city and improving the lives of the residents of Hamtramck.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that concludes our interview. Thank you, Mayor-elect Adam Alharbi, for your time. We appreciate you, and good luck with the next 4 years and so on.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you for watching Hamtramck Public Television Channel 19. We have our own channel. If you go to Hamtramck Public Library on YouTube, and please subscribe and hit the like button so you can view the up-to-date information and events, and also the Hamtramck Council meetings are live on YouTube channel. Thank you again. Have a good evening.